you're going to automatically now start to walk the walk. It doesn't happen that way. You got to get the rehearsals right here, all right? Let me step it up here a little bit. Moray, if you can read, again, in this angel, this messenger is referring to, again, we'll show a little bit later that this is referring to actually Yahuah Mashiach because we have the word visit and the word visitation coming out of this word visit. But we'll step that up or bring that up next week. I'm going to speed it up here a little bit. My next concern is almost everyone wants to teach. We brought that one out. The third thing that's going on is how can we say that we want to teach when we can't forgive one another in love? Again, how can we say that we want to teach when we can't forgive one another in love? And why do arguments keep resurfacing after 10, 15, 20 atonements ago? Now, I had a talk with my brother Yahuah, and he told me when he's faced with this situation where things are coming up 10, 15, 20 years ago, and we're going to have Yahuah to take the blame for this. This is what Yahuah said. He says that when he's in this situation, he simply say, I don't remember all is forgiven in Yahuah. I don't remember that. I don't know what you're talking about. That happened 10, 15, 20 atonements ago. I don't even want to deal with that no more. Okay? I find that situation more profitable. So again, let's go to the first book of John, 4, 15, 21. Actually, Zakar, if you can read that for me. And again, the question is, how can we say we want to teach when we can't forgive one another in love? And why do things like arguments keep resurfacing after 10, 15, 20 atonements ago? So 1 John 4, 15, and 20. And then he said, well, maybe because the person keeps doing the same thing over and over again. Well, maybe also, too, is because the person keeps bringing up the same thing over and over again. You know, this whole thing about remembrance, reminding the person of this sin and their transgression, and this is what we're not supposed to be doing, because, again, we're going to look at the scriptures from a Hebraic perspective, and again, this is not a personal attack. Now, if I had to be clear about the thing, this is about a brother who was once part of us, and his name was Moshe, okay, who's actually now outgoing, doing his own thing now. So such a person as that has to be brought to the forefront, and we're trying to work and see if we can get that done. 1 John, got the pages turning. Yeah, well, your brother got to get that MacBook.
Yes, sir.
I'm working on it. Okay, we got 1 John, the 4th chapter, 15 to 21.
Okay. Whoever shall confess that Yashra'al is the son of Elohim, and Elohim dwell in him, and he is Elohim.
Mm-hmm.
And we have known and believe that the love that Elohim has to us is God, is love.
Mm-hmm.
And he that dwells in love dwells in Elohim, and Elohim dwells in him.
So if we dwell in love, and we say that we love Yahuah, then that's the perfect love. We have no problems. Read on.
Herein is our love made perfect.
Uh-huh.
That we have made boldness in the day of judgment, because he is also, we is in this world.
Mm-hmm.
There's no fear in love.
There's no fear in love, and that's always a problem. The reason why we can't love one another because it's the fear. For example, if this brother or sister was to come live with me, all right, for a time, well, what if the brother eats up all my food? What if the brother stays on my couch all day? I mean, these problems that we have, but if everybody understands love, and this is about responsibility, I'm not going to come and take advantage of your situation. I know now that if I say that I love you, I'm not going to be a burden to you. So there should be no fear with you and I if a situation comes up and I need your help. I keep listening. I need to borrow a couple of dollars. I need to borrow your car. Whatever the case like that might be, there should be no fear in love because we're all working towards the same goal, meeting the groom. Read on.
There's no fear in love.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect love casts out fear.
Perfect love casts out fear. So what's the problem? Read on.
Because the fear has torment.
Mm-hmm.
He that feareth is not made of perfect love.
He that feareth is not made perfect in love. Again, he not made perfect in love. Read on.
We love him because he has first loved us.
Right.
If any man say, I love Elohim and hated his brother, he is a liar.
Now, I didn't say it. I didn't say it. We all here must learn to get along with one another. Again, if any man say, I love Yahuah, and everybody here says that they love Yahuah, right? So we all say that we love Yahuah, but you hate or you have a problem or all with your brother, that person who says that he loves Yahuah is a liar. He or she is a liar, straight off the bat. And I guarantee you, according to Torah, you're not making it out of this captivity. Guarantee you. Read on.
He that loveth not his brother, whom he has seen, now how can he love Elohim whom he has not seen?
You see what's going on here? You say that you love Yahuah who you can't see, but I'm going to look you dead in your face every single seventh day and say, listen, you know what? I have a problem with you, but I love Yahuah. At some point, I should come to you and say, listen, you know what? Even if it means, because laying down my life for you, just like you have said so many times before, if it means for you to make it into salvation, I'll take the low end, brother. You know what? It's my fault. My bad. Because I want you to also make it to the kingdom. I'll take the burden for you, and that's exactly what Yahushua HaMashiach done for you. So he did it for you, but you can't do it to your brothers and sisters, but you still call yourselves lovers of the Father in Torah. Makes absolutely no sense. Such a person who does that or thinks like that is a liar. And no liars, thieves, a person who commits adultery, covetousness, shall in no wise enter into the kingdom. No exceptions. All right, read on.
And this commandment have we from him.
Well, it came from the Father. Read on.
That who loved Elohim loved his brother also.
So that is a commandment. If you love Yahuah, you have to love your brothers and sisters. I'll have to love every last brother and sister in here. That's the job. If I can't do it, Shabbat, step down till you get your act together. As simple as that. Let's go with Pt1. Let's go to 1 John 3 and 11. I was going to try to do Devarim, the 31st chapter, but that's not going to happen. All right. 1 John 3 and 11. So these are some of the requirements, okay, in teaching.
1 John, Yahuah chapter 3, verse 11. For this is the message that you have heard from the beginning, that we should love one another.
Say it one more time, Mikey.
For this is the message that you have heard from the beginning, that we should love one another.
So listen, I just can't put up with Ezekiel. I got to get my act together. I have to love and trust this brother. As long as we're on the same page, and we say that we want to be part of the covenant of Yahuah, all right? And we are breaking bread together every single seventh day, but I have problems with that brother. Listen, I'm not going nowhere. I guarantee you I'm not going nowhere. You will be in Shamayim, you will be in paradise, in the Garden of Adon, and you know what? You'll be looking back what happened to the Sodom. That brother was perpetrating a fraud the whole time. That's how serious this walk is. You're either going to do it or not. There's no in-between here, because you're not in any position to bargain. The Father was about to destroy the whole nation of Israel in the wilderness. And I'm going to ask you, watch how serious this is. Did the Father come to do away with the law? With the law.
No.
Everybody says no. Some people say yes, no. No. Right. We're going to tackle this the next time, but the Father did come to do away with the law. He did. All right? Yes, there was 2 laws that was given in the wilderness. So we're going to go into that a little bit later next, maybe in 2 more weeks. But let's finish this up because I'm slow. I'm moving kind of slow here. Let's get a sister. Let's go with Korai. If we can go to 1 John 5, 1 through 3. chapter, verses 1 through 3. And then I would like to have Sister Shia to go to Luke 23:34. And if we can have, what's back there? Let's get a Coty here. If we can, Acts the 20th chapter.
Acts 20.
No, I want Shia, Shia, I want you to go to Luke 23:34.
Luke.
Yeah, Luke. Okay, and I want your Coty to go to Acts 20:28. All right? So we're going to continue off with forgiveness of sins and loving one another. And we're now at 1 John, the 5th chapter, verses 1 through 3. And we're going to have Zacchaeus Ishar to actually read that. Shammai. Excuse me, Korah. I keep getting Korah. Korah means to listen. We have Shammai. Shammai means to listen. Word Korah means to call or to assemble together. So the names work together actually in festivals. Yeah, because when the Father blows the shofar, it's a mikra, it's a calling, it's a coming together. And Shammai means to listen or to hear. So when you come together, you're supposed to listen and to hear the Torah. So your names are connected, prophetically.
1 John 5:1. Whosoever believes that the Mashiach is in Yahuah is born of Yahuah, and everyone that loveth him that begot loved him also that is begotten of him.
Mm-hmm.
By this we know that we love the children of Elohim, when we love Elohim and keep his commandments.
Mm-hmm.
For this is the love of Elohim, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous.
They're not grievous. They're really not. They're really, really not hard at all. The last question. Are you that desire to teach? Can you suffer for your brother and sister's downfalls? And if you're able to do all these things, welcome to the lion's den. Luke 23:34. What do we have there, Sister Shai? Luke 23:34.
Luke 23:34. Then said Mashiach,
Mm-hmm.
Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do.
Right. So that's very important. So again, we have Mashiach, okay, taking on the sins of an adulterous woman, okay, the nation of Yashra'al. And when all of this is going on, all the rebuking that Mashiach was getting, he said, listen, forgive them, for they know not what they do. If they fully understood the redemptive role of the Messiah, all right, we would have all come together with the understanding that Mashiach was actually the atoning sacrifice for the nation of Yashra'al. But we knew that all of this had to happen. But again, Father, forgive them. So we see that throughout all Scripture, the Father is always forgiving the nation of Yashra'al. But now that he has died and resurrected, all right, there is no excuse. Nobody here can ever say that, you know what, I never heard that we're supposed to bear one another's sins. You're going to be held responsible, because what's going to happen when Pesach comes, especially Pesach, we're going to all eat that covenant meal together. You better make sure that there's no problems in your personal relationships with anybody here in the congregation, because you're not partaking in a festival. This is a wedding rehearsal ceremony. Okay, this is when Yahushua HaMashiach is going to actually return, and we'll get into that a little bit later. Because as it was in the beginning, so shall it be at the end. The reunification is going to happen during Pesach. We have Acts, the 20th chapter, verse 28.
Acts the 20th chapter, verse 28. Take heed therefore unto yourselves, and to all the flock over which the Holy Rock has made you overseer, to feed the assembly of Yahuah, which he has purchased with his own blood.
Right. So this is what Yahushua has purchased with his own blood. It's the blood, not the actual meat, okay? It's the blood that makes the atonement. And so now, those of us that are teaching, all right, we have to make sure that we give right, sound knowledge to the flock. All right, that is our responsibility. So in order to teach, all right, we must make sure that we are all in one accord. We must also understand is that we must lay down our lives for one another. This takes studying, diligence, coming to class. You have to come to class, all right? I mean, it's very, very important. If you don't come to class, you know what? It's just like you going to any other job. It's a no-show, and it'll get to the point where you're fired. And so what we're trying to do is get everybody in the mindset is that you have to make this part of your life. You have to, because you will be measured in the day of judgment now on how you loved one another. Let's go into it a little bit because we have about 2 minutes. Deborah, the 31st chapter, because I wanted to keep this in the theme of what Moray was doing the last 2 weeks with the whole thing about slavery and all of that stuff there, all right? Deuteronomy 31, verse 1. And Moshe went and spoke these words to all Yashra'al, and said unto them, I am 120 years old. Everybody knows this, the significance of the number 120, right? Which is 40 times 3, and Moshe's life is broken up into what? 3 parts, right? We have Moshe actually living amongst the Egyptians, not as a king, but in royalty for 40 years. He spent 40 years in exile until the Father was able to deal with him. And he spent 40 years with Israel in the wilderness, giving us 120 years. And the word number 40 actually represents atonement, and atonement. All of these were the 3 stages of atonement that Moshe went under in 120 years. And we have in the book of Bereshit, the number of the days of man should be 120 also, right? So we were all familiar with that. And we can go into the 120 Jubilees a little bit later after that, because we see after the 40, 40, 40, which is 120 years, we see after this now, Moshe, which was a Melchizedek, he was of the line of a Melchizedek king. We see that he now passes over. Now he's a Levite. He now passes the torch over to Joshua, or Yahushua, and it's actually Yahushua who brings the nation of Israel into the land. So this Yahushua is a prophetic shadow picture of the son of Yahuah. Okay, and with that, Ms. McCall, we're going to continue with this in the next lesson, all right? So